What is an AI agent first?
Agent is a very hard to pin down word right now in AI. I think of it as actually very broad. Some people probably narrow it down and they think ChatGPT is a model, and then there are agents, which are these things that you might deploy on N8N or on Google Cloud, or like in some of our arenas, you might see trading agents, which are kind of software with models embedded in them. But I think of agents as actually kind of a broader umbrella where what you actually have are models, which are much more like databases. There's some kind of fixed thing, and then you build software around that. And so GPT-5 to me is actually an agent. It's more than just the database. It's more than just the model. If you go to GPT-5, it has capabilities like memory or web search or things like that. That's very agentic. So it's the model plus a lot of software harnessing that allows the model to do things in the world and react to different kinds of information and make choices based on real-time feeds that are beyond just a query to a database. And so we see that spectrum really broaden up. You have chat interfaces that are very much like models. And then you have agents that live on Twitter that are reading Twitter feeds and reacting and posting kind of their opinions or thoughts live. And there's lots of things in between. And there are agents that create value. There are agents that are experiments. There are agents all over the place. So agents is just a very broad term. I think probably we start to differentiate things as it goes forward, but that's just where it is right now.
Who's making them?
Everybody is right now. And I think like this idea, if you can kind of broaden the thinking about what an agent is just software that has models that use models or intelligence to make decisions inside of them. You see agents kind of proliferating very quickly. Obviously, like the coding agent is a huge one right now, but it's pretty clear to me why the race for coding dominance from the primary model builders right now is the main race going on. The chat interface that we all interact with has a lot of value. It may have like a lot of value in governments or healthcare or things like that. But the ability to actually code agents to immediately solve needs. So I have to do this thing, and the model actually knows how to write itself into doing the thing. So models will be creating agents on the fly to solve problems. It's going to make it so that agents are just what solve things in the future. And so right now, I think everybody is trying to build agents. We're building agents internally to solve organizational problems, like how do we move information around the teams? How do we write better issues in GitHub? We're writing a lot of agents. And I think everybody that's kind of mid-sized startup, for example, is like racing hard at how can I get the leverage out of AI? And it largely comes from orchestrating agents. So just lots of people building agents right now.
Yeah, a lot of like the general public belief system about where the future is headed. I know in a lot of minds, they're churning around like, hey, I'm going to have this digital replication of myself that can jump through the internet and handle all the shit that I don't want to mess with. Like, how far off are we from that coherent story that the general public may or may not have in their head about agents and personal use?
I don't think we're very far off. I think it takes like a kind of killer use case or a killer product, and a lot of people are trying to build it. My co-founder and I were speaking just yesterday, actually, about an idea. I don't think it's the killer product, but it'll give you kind of a sense of how close the technology could do this. So there's a protocol called A to A. It allows agents to just kind of list themselves on the internet and say, here's how you talk to me, so that they're kind of open for business. And it hasn't blown up yet, but it's a really interesting opportunity. That got us thinking, what if I had an agent that was me? And I gave it all the public things I want. Like back, maybe you might imagine your Facebook profile, but only things that you wish had been public back in the day. So I say, okay, I put maybe my reading lists, maybe I put my events that are coming up. I put this podcast, like this thing, I'm going to record this. Hey, you can know about this thing coming up. But maybe I don't put my like personal calendar, things like that. So, and then in my Twitter profile, maybe it has a link, or not a link, it just has an ID for that thing. And if you go to my profile and you see me tweet something, you might say, oh, Andrew, tell me more about that. And it's not like you text me or give me a phone call or anything. It just goes to my personal agent and it goes, I was reading these 5 things and it looks like I kind of co-opted that idea from this blog post. Here's the source blog post and tells you kind of where my thinking might have come from. And I think you can expand that. Then I start having groups of people, like maybe my team. I do want, if they talk to my agent, to just give you my full calendar and say, Well, Andrew is open on Friday, but he was talking about going on a run or something. So maybe we should check with him if he really is open on Friday. That sort of advanced thing. I don't think that's the killer product. It was just kind of a thought experiment about where we could open this personal agent up. That is a possible scenario tomorrow. So somebody's going to solve that, where you could be having agents working on your behalf as you and differentially working together. So then Carson's not even finding my agent. He's just asking his agent to coordinate with my agent, things like that. I think the more sticky question, honestly, is like that stuff is coming. No doubt. I don't know the exact configuration of what that product space looks like, but that stuff is coming, no doubt. The thing that's more sticky is like, I don't think people are thinking about it. Right now, people are having conversations with AI that are incredibly deep and revealing and intimate. Set aside all the privacy, and it's so funny that Cambridge Analytica happened half a decade ago, and now this technology has come about, which I guess is just so valuable that we've all gone, I get so much value out of this, I don't care anymore. I'll tell it everything. But we're in this world where we're doing that. And I think the really tricky, sticky question is to say, at what point do humans, I guess like a reasonable proportion of them, recognize that AI might be better at relationships for many humans than other humans?
All right. So what did we just watch? Right there.
We watched Thinking on Paper, bite-sized, a shot of technological tequila to your prefrontal cortex. It's just a taster, a smorgasbord of what awaits you with the full Thinking on Paper interviews. There really is nothing like it out there at the moment, connecting the dots of all these technologies. So subscribe where you're listening, check the long-former interviews out, and remember, stay curious.
Be disruptive.
Keep thinking on paper.